Hello everybody and welcome back to the United League Championship, and we are now moving on to Tier 1. If you did not watch the Tier 2 race, we're not going to spoil the result. It was absolutely fantastic.
But where were you?
Where were you? It was an absolutely brilliant race. It's on Twitch if you want to watch it now, but obviously this is on now, but I definitely recommend you watch that at some point. That was an amazing race in Tier 2. This race has got a lot to live up to now, and of course it is the Tier 1 race once again at the Silverstone circuit. It's round 4 of the season, and the championship is 7 points in it. And this is obviously going to be a crucial race, as with everyone when it's this tight. It's currently the Flying Finn, who we're on board with now, who's the championship leader. RG Matiz 58 points in second, then STS F1 Alonso 43 points in third. Then we've got a bit of a gap of he's on 43. Then it's 28 with Feisty Ted, who's followed by his teammate RBZ on 22. Then there's Trumper Rumper, 18 points thanks to his second last time out. But yeah, those are the top guys in the standings, and yeah, that battle for the championship between Matiz and Finn, obviously Alonso not too far behind, has been a really interesting one, and I'm sure that this will be another interesting chapter. But we're on board with Finn here, and once again, like we did with Tier 2, James, you can just talk us through a lap of this fantastic Silverstone circuit.
Absolutely, and so he's making his way down towards Abbey Corner, turn 1, as you would expect. He's going to try and take a bit of curve, a lot of curve in fact, on the inside, on the outside and on the inside as well, as we come through Farm Curve and down towards turn 3. And he locks up his front right wheel. You'll see that predominantly as well as they head into the loop. Takes a much tighter line than potentially some guys may do. Into Aintree Corner and down the Wellington Straight. This is a great opportunity. You can get a slingshot through Aintree. This is the perfect place to make a move. Maybe around the outside, let's say, into Brooklands Corner. Now coming into Luffield as well. And he keeps a tight line. And as I said in there, a tighter line and holding the car on in there as they head down towards the National Pit Straight with the college on the left, and now through Cops Corner, taking it flat out in 8th gear and down towards Maggots and Beckett, one of the most famous corners on this whole season in Formula 1, let alone Silverstone. And then the corner before Chapel, here is Chapel, as they head down now to on the Hangar Straight, down towards the Stowe Corner, where we have seen plenty of overtaking in the last race, in the Tier 2 race as well. He takes a lot of curve on the inside, and he will do on the outside as well. He's got every right to do that. And down in towards the final few corners, turn 16, and it will be Club Corner to round off this lap. And it does look like at the minute he needs to beat his rival Matiz, who's done a 27.1, but the Flying Finn does a 27.0, so there's not a lot in it between those two either. Very close stuff, and a good lap then from the Flying Finn. Simon is in third, Joe is now fourth, and Trumper Rumper's fifth at the moment.
Feisty Ted now, he's just about to finish off his lap. As you mentioned, he's fourth in the championship. Where can he put it? He can go up into second position. That's a very good lap for the SRL driver there. He has put his car up into second position, just ahead of Matiz. And then in fourth place, which we didn't mention, is Tyrrell Limitless, who's making his debut in the United League Championship. It's great to have him here, and we'll be looking forward to seeing how he does. He's missed the first 3 rounds of the season, so he won't be competing for the Drivers' Championship, but he'll be doing all he can to help AOR as they aim to close down on STS in the League Championship, which is what I'm going to talk to next. Most people have finished lap now, so we'll just talk through what the League Championship is looking like. And in terms of that, we've got STS with a big 45-point gap at the moment on AOR, and they will have very slightly stretched that out from the Tier 2 race that we've just had. That is a bit of a spoiler, but not too much. And then it's STS who are a distant third then. They're on 69 points in third. And then after that, it's really all about the big results. We saw last week that Trumper Rumper finish put TSRL into fifth. And that leapfrogged them quite a lot, so it's really, really close behind that. Limitless does seem to be going on another lap here. He's already set one time.
I've just noticed Finn had set another fastest lap. He's done a 26.9, So he is actually improved on his second run. Maybe Limitless is doing the same. And if he hasn't improved on that attempt. Alonso, I think, is coming through. No, he's indeed. No, he's coming to the pits. Okay, then. So Alonso is into the pits. And I think it's amazing. The amazement moves into P8 then. And P9 is Reynolds. And at the moment, RBZ is just creeping himself in that top 10 slot at the moment. But qualifying in Tier 2, as we said, was so tremendously tight. So see similar here. Despite the nature of the circuit, where we're looking at around 1 minute 20 something lap, it is going to be close. Like most tracks like Monaco and Austria, you'd expect to be close. But a track like Silverstone, if you're within tenths of a second of each other, that is pretty damn close. So very good stuff so far from most guys as Limitless. I don't know, actually, is he on a lap?
I don't think so. This would be his third lap. So I think he might just be doing a fast in lap, maybe. To me, might be imagining the weather doesn't look great. That does look quite ominous, those clouds in the sky. So possibly he's trying to get... Well, actually, he's quite low on time anyway, isn't he, actually? Remember, it's only a 12-minute session, so it's quite tight. So I think he's doing that just to make sure he gets in time. But, yeah, most guys are about to go back out.
Yeah, I was going to say, a number of laps could also suggest that we've got rain expected at the start of the race, because these guys wouldn't wear their tyres out knowing that the tyre wear is high around this circuit. So they could potentially have, well, unfortunately, the developers didn't really want us to have that information. So unfortunately, we're going to crack along with that, and we are, going to, hopefully there could be rain, but a lot of guys are going to take another shot here, which it definitely could be a factor that there is rain on the horizon as we head into the race. We're not too sure though, so we will you'll be the first to find out because you'll see it on stream. So nevertheless, let's see who can get the best runs in. Someone to note as well, all-rounder is, as a few guys actually haven't set a time, so Smithson, Arctic Avenger, Monkey Faceplays, all-rounder, Leopard and Alonso, who's third in the championship, hasn't set a lap as of yet, so that will hopefully all change. But all-rounder has a prominent record, which he won't want to be seeing, because his finishing record I've seen in his league racing on F1, and although he attended here at Silverstone, he had a mighty race, so at one point, so it could well happen for him here today. Let's just wait and see for all-rounder in the run and for RGL. Of course, as everyone I think is going to go on another attempt. It's going to be interesting to see when Limitless decides to come out, although he has come out the pits now as well. So all runs coming out for their second and final runs.
Yeah, and this is where it doesn't look like there's any rain, so that was obviously it does look dodgy, but it isn't going to come down. So this is obviously where the real times are going to be hit, you would imagine. And we will see now. We're running on board with RBZ at the moment. He is the first guy to be starting a lap here with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the session. And this isn't a great camera angle, I'll be honest, so we'll go to the on-board as he goes through the loop and now through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. And at the moment he's down in 10th, which, as I mentioned earlier, and doing a solid job for SRL, who are best of the rest, quite clearly behind those STS and AOR guys. And it's important that they carry on keeping up points though, and it all starts obviously with qualifying, which proved crucial in Tier 2. We saw lots and lots of battling, and that obviously is something that track position is then really crucial, because you're able to defend. RBZ really chucking it in through there, and no, he's lost out.
Invalidated this time.
Yeah, and he's going to back off. So that's hang on, someone's in the gravel. That's Reynolds in the gravel. He's going to take his time a little bit here, get the gravel off his tyres and go on to another lap. There's Limitless starting a lap. Let's find someone towards the end of their lap. Out of the front runners, Feisty Ted is the furthest through his lap. Oh, Alonso, that's a good one, yeah. He hasn't set a lap yet, so this is crucial for him. Also, I'm just...
Hanger straight towards Stowe Corner. Now Alonso needs to maximise this run as he comes through here. Takes a lot of curve like his brother did, and he's taken a lot on the outside as well. Has that invalidated his time? I don't think it has, because he still looks like he's pushing a lot. So Alonso, third in the championship, he I'm not sure what sort of a time this is going to be. He comes across the line to go P4 and ahead of Tyrrell Limitless, who is on his lap, as we say. He's coming through Copse Corner right now. So lots of laps going on. I think everyone is on their lap, apart from Smithson in TWRL.
Smithson's left the session.
Has been kicked out of the TWRL ULC group. So
yeah, late decision. I think there's been something that's happened,
Matiz,
which has meant that Smithson has gone. Matiz fastest, yeah. Ooh, and quite comfortably as well. That's good.
And then the Finn. Oh, he just pips him. That's 1400ths of a second between those ridiculously close. Yeah, thousands. There you go, thousands. I said hundreds. Limitless is only fourth at the moment. Feisty Ted has bailed out of his run. He hasn't done enough. He's going to start third. Unless anyone else improves, that is his position for now. But let's not forget Matiz. I think Matiz and Finn are both on another lap here. So it's not over for pole position either.
Yeah, those guys are the only two of the top 5 who are still going round. Alonso has retired as well. So this battle for pole is not over yet. These guys going for a second run again. So that does suggest that the weather could be coming in for the race, which will be interesting. But a qualifying pole position is still ever so critical. Matiz really trying hard through Maggots and Beckett's. You can tell that he's pushing all he can to make up this time now. The tyres won't quite be giving the grip that he had before, but he would have ever so slightly less fuel, which will help him a lot. He now comes through Stowe. He's about to finish his lap. He needs to improve, remember. Finn might be able to get away with not improving, but Matiz has to improve on this lap.
Matiz would stop in interest where it's can. On pole, yes he's done it. But Finn is just around the corner. It could be pole position for Finn. He needs to maximise his run through Club Corner. Where's he going to go? He only stays P2. He can't improve, and that is it for qualifying.
Great fight between those two guys, though. Really showing their quality there. And we've seen a lot of changes behind as well. ESR Simon has managed to get into P4 as he's had a massive crash. His AI after. Oh my goodness me. Absolute carnage being caused by the AI here. But yeah, Simon's got into P4. OMG, it's Joe has managed to get into P5. And that has left Limitless and Alonso, the AOR and STS respectively, drivers in 6th and 7th. Then we've got Reynolds and Leopard in 8th and 9th for the F1 League. That's a good result for those guys. Not doing too well, the F1 League, and missed out in points on Tier 2. They could have got a lot more, so they'll be really relying on that. We've got EVR.
That's interesting. RGL have done the same as what they did, I think, in Tier 2. They were 10th and 11th in Tier 2, and they're 10th and 11th in Tier 1. There's a bit of consistency with RGL there. But yeah, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Feisty Ted, Simon and Joe. That is a tremendous effort to out-qualify people like Limitless and Alonso. And it's a really good, actually, to be fair, Joe, 5th on the grid is a mighty effort. From where he's been all season, he's 14th in the championship. So he is a long, long way back, and he's 5th in qualifying. So he'll be very, very happy with that. I'm sure a lot of these guys will be as well. But I'm not too sure what we're waiting for. Maybe Christmas.
Yeah, just a few. I think there's a few guys in the pits that haven't retired. I think it's Arctic Avenger is in the pits.
Oh,
there we go. He's done it.
Okay,
yeah, there is the order. Just obviously we ran through it, but we'll do it again. Why not? RG Matiz, Flying Finn, Feisty Ted, ESR Simon, OMG it's Joe, Tyrrell Limitless, STS F1 Alonso, Reynolds, Leopard, All-Rounder, Lang Mazeman. Look out for him in the race. He's stronger in the race than he is in qualifying usually. Last week's runner-up, Trump-Rumper, is 13th. Then it's BPRL Midget. RBZ down in 15th. That's not a great result for him. He'll be hoping to improve on that. Then we've got Jork, Monkey Face Plays, BPRL JME, then and then Arctic Avenger 2. ESR Smithson will not be racing because he's been removed from TRL going into the race. But now we're waiting on the weather.
Taking the grid, yep.
We're sure it's going to rain because they were doing 2 laps, which we didn't see at all in Tier 2. And we'll skip that so we don't get... Oh no, it's bone dry.
It's dry! Okay.
Interesting that people are doing 2 laps then.
Yeah, I am interested by that. It's very weird. Okay, well, maybe they're just very confident on their tyres, which would explain a lot. They are Tier 1 gyros. They are the best of the best. We know that. So hopefully they'll be in for an absolute treat, an absolute storm going into this one. It's, of course, ULC Tier 1 we can only expect if we didn't note that. That isn't, you know, if you want to put quote unquote, a pretty dismal qualifying for one of the SRL drivers. The other one's up into third, so clearly one of them's done something right. But yeah, this is the moment that they've all been waiting for, I'm sure. Just the eagerness, the anticipation of the race start. Although saying a thing about the tyres, that could be due to whether the rain's going to come early in the race, which could also play a factor, but we don't know that for sure. We're getting ready then for the start of Tier 1. Let's go to 5 red lights for the start of ULC Tier 1. It's British Grand Prix.
And it's lights out and away we go.
It's a good start off the line. He's trying to cover off Finn already into turn 1. It doesn't look like it's been an overly good start from Feisty Ted, who's lost out at the start. He's run down into 3rd place. One of the McLarens, that's Joe into 4th place. He's making strides for TWRL. He's trying to keep it on the inside, and Joe moves himself into 4th. They're banging wheels between. Feisty Ted is 6th. Alonso 7th at the moment as well. But it's side by side, I think, between Limiters. And I think that's Feisty Ted. No, it's not. It's actually staying as it was. It's the two behind. It's Alonso making strides. He's up the inside or around the outside, sorry, of Feisty Ted. Feisty Ted's had an awful start to this race. He's all the way down into 7th place. It could be 7th place if Alonso can dispossess him of it. Yes, it is. And Alonso moves himself into 6th place. And that is a tremendous getaway from Alonso. An absolute tragic start from Feisty Ted from 3rd on the grid.
Yeah, and ignore the guy behind. EVR Reynolds is lagging all over the place there. So watch out for him. That could cause a little bit of problems behind. But yeah, at the front, it hasn't changed too much apart from, as you said, Ted getting a disastrous start. That's gone terribly wrong and just adds to what hasn't been a great event so far for SRL, but still a long way to go. Finn keeping in that 2nd position, and will be looking behind RG Mateers. Obviously this time last week he was in the gravel and he fought through brilliantly.
And Limitless is going around the outside of Joe, then into Club Corner. Joe squeezing him out through Club Corner. Can he hold him on the inside? He's going to give a really good go, but Limitless is keeping him around the outside. And now watch Alonso. Alonso could come from nowhere to take the pair of them. It's going to be 3 going into 1 corner. You don't want that one to be working out for either of them, but Alonso's now going to have to try and stick it on the outside of Joe, and he does so. Feisty Ted's trying to follow him through as well. And I think Alonso has got himself into P5. He's making absolute gains in this race, and Reynolds is round, or lagged round, and is back into where he should be. But yeah, Limitless as 4th, and Alonso is 5th at the moment. So yes, it was a pretty good start from Joe. As I said, he started was it 5th on the grid, and he moved himself into 4th, and then he's now lost out. He's now 6th. So unfortunate for him, but the leaders are starting to pull away already.
Yeah, Finn in a really good position compared to last week, but losing out of a slight 2/10 increased since this time last lap. Is our Simon really keeping up with those guys? He did a great job in qualifying, and he's carrying it over into the race. 3rd position, really good for him, and he's extending his gap over Tyrrell Limitless, who is now under pressure from SDS F1 Alonso for 4th position. Alonso doesn't quite make it through, but these guys obviously race each other in AOR, so they should know what they're doing. I think we saw that quite a lot in the previous race. People racing with people they usually don't race with, which is part of what ULC is about, but a bit of misunderstanding, I think, in the interviews we had after. People not too happy with the driving that other people were making, but these two guys know each other brilliantly, so they know exactly what to do when they inevitably come into wheel-to-wheel battle. But at the moment, it's Alonso just holding the advantage over Alonso. The F1 League holding good positions here, 7th and 8th. Reynolds lagging all over the place, but he's still going at the moment, 7th position. And Feist down. I want to check to see if Ted has got damage, which is something I think could be the case. No, he does not. He's just.
It's a very Murray Walker statement you just came out with there as well, as I just point that one out. Alonso is 5th ahead of Alonso, so that is one to quote master. I love it, absolutely love that. But yeah, you're right, Alonso is 3/10 of a second behind at the moment, and yeah, Finn is actually losing out. He's only a second behind, and remember that from the Tier 2 race as well. Cars were within 3/10 of a second of each other. Although there was a train, again, spoiler, no one could really capitalise and make anything of the DRS that they were getting. So you could be within 3/10, but really, it may not make a whole deal of difference if you're really, it's just the momentum you get through corners, I guess, and Leopard is moving him strides as well.
Alonso's going down the inside
of
of the Limitless here. Sorry about him, but we've got Alonso making an ambitious move on Limitless. It hasn't quite paid off, and Limitless has managed to hold that position. We've lost BPRL Midget from this race. BPRL not having a great season so far, and that further adds their woes, but I'm sure that they'll come back at some point during the season. But yeah, another disappointment there. And yeah, look at that gap at the front as well, up to almost a second now. I think that Finn will be really happy that he's just managed to keep it within DRS, because that's going to mean that he's able to gain a little bit of time down the straights. Without that, he doesn't quite seem to have the pace that Matiz does, and it's still Simon, the next guy behind, but he's losing touch ever so slightly. It's stretching out quite a bit.
The F1 League looked like they were losing places hand over fist there, because Joe has got round the outside of Leopard and Langman got round the outside of Reynolds, and this is not a position Langman will want to be in, because he's oh my goodness me, that is going to be touch and go. But Langman has got himself into P8, which is a good result so far for RGL if they can 12, because all-rounder, as you're right, a damage. If he has any damage, I don't think he does actually.
No, for the onboard he doesn't. From the onboard he doesn't have damage, just got caught up in too much battling on the first lap. I think if you lose one position, it's really easy then to go 1, 2, 3 more positions lost, and that unfortunately has happened to Ted, and he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty on lap 5. So unfortunately for Ted, a good qualifying, but not quite coming together so far in this race, and he's got a lot of work to do, as his teammate RBZ is in the pits for damage. He's on the soft tyres, which actually reminds me to check the tyres actually to see what people are doing.
Up the inside of Joe he goes, he's locked up massively. Joe's got the switch back on him and made the move. Also Alonso is very, very close, I think, to Limitless as well. This could be the opportunity that Alonso has been waiting for as they head down in towards Brooklands corner. I don't think he's going to get a move done there. Joe has got past Leopard, Langman trying to follow him through as well, and to do it just there. Joe is now holding up the train of cars. We've seen trains of cars here before, haven't we, Tier 2? But yet again, it seems like we'll get another one here, only for 6th place be it, but it is still points at the end of the day, and that is what all these guys are desperate for. So it's getting closer and closer. Leopard is going a bit wide through Cop's corner. Langman will just want to keep himself right on the back of him, make sure that he can hassle and harry that Force India into a potential mistake. All-rounder has got himself a 3-second time penalty. Now Leopard is looking on the attack of Joe. Joe's got no answer to him as they come through Chapel, and I think Joe's going to lose out to 6th place here. Indeed he does. He's going to lose it through Stone. He's going around the outside. Leopard, can he get it all stick together? I'm not sure he's going to be able to, because Joe's got it back again on the traction. Coming through Stowe corner, and it looks like Joe's going to be able to hold 6th place for now. But Leopard's back on the attack through Club corner. He's got the switchback move. He's side by side. They make contact, and Langman's now coming through as well. He's going to be on the outside of them. They need to watch out for Feisty Ted, who's making moves on the inside of Brown.
That was just not quite going to work, was it? Unfortunately, I saw that gap closing, and it was a good, brave move by Ted, but unfortunately it's just not quite worked out, and his race goes from bad to worse. Leopard's lost out quite badly from that as well, actually. He's down into 10th now as the battle for 6th continues, with Langman now going down the inside of OMG It's Joe, and he has now got that 6th position. This is where the key battle in the race is, with the top 5 spreading out quite nicely. We've still got Alonso just behind Limitless, but other than that, for 6th downwards, it is nip and tuck the whole way down, really. And it's now Langman into 6th place. A good result if he can keep that for RGL. OMG It's Joe runs it a little bit wide, which allows Reynolds now to close him down, as they will be going on to the Hangar Straight very shortly. But this is really hard to hold it here with the dirty air, and he's just not quite. So it's going to be all-rounder looking at the back here, and he's going to look down the inside, but he can't quite make the move down on VSR Leopard, and he just holds position. We've got Jork then in 12th. He's a little bit separated at the moment, but he's on the soft tyres. So is Trumperumper. Those are the guys to watch out for on the alternate strategy. We saw the super softs working quite nicely last time as Reynolds now going side by side with Joe, and Joe's just got to hold that position.
Yeah, Trump rumpers. Oh my goodness me, there's nearly an absolute plane crash behind. I think there still could be as they come through turn 3, but no, I think Leopard has got through, and All-Rounder's now on this switch back. I think All-Rounder's got the position there as well. No, he hasn't, I don't think, but I'm just trying to concentrate on zoning battles and still keeping an eye on Limitless versus Alonso. That's still brewing, that's still going on. But All-Rounder looks like he's lost the rear end of that Renault, and he's held it very nicely, very Gymkhana-like go. Run just as they come to Maggots and Beckett. Alonso on the outside, then looks to the inside, looking for a way past this Sauber in the AOR car as they now come through towards Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight. This is potentially, I think, maybe the closest Alonso's been to the back of Tyrrell Limitless as they head down then in towards Stowe Corner. Can Alonso force one up the inside? No, he's thinking better of it. Can he get a good run through Stowe and maximise it coming into turn 16? You better believe he's going to try it. Maybe he will. Up the inside he goes. Limitless is going to try and can't really defend his position, and now at the switchback corner they sideways the pair of them. Oh, there's contact between the two of them. Limitless and Alonso make a bit of contact, but Alonso is through. A P3, but Limitless will feel a bit hard done by that. No, he's letting back through. Great sportsman from Alonso. So, that is actually, I love that sort of thing. When you get that, it's clean racing, and they know it's clean racing because he's letting back through after potentially a bit of an aggressive move from Alonso. He was a bit sideways going through club corner. Maybe there wasn't a lot Alonso could have done, but at least he's given the position back. That's not to say he's not going to take it back from Limitless though, as they go into as he did there. It's all about his run now through Luffield Corner. Can he maximise his run and really give Limitless a go towards Copse Corner?
Yeah, I think that goes into that hands of my saying about these guys really know each other. They've got great respect for each other. And Alonso showing great respect there to Limitless, but now he's going to try and rob it from him as he looks to make a move into Maggots, but doesn't quite make it stick, and now he's just got to follow him around and line up a move for Stowe. He's onto the hang straight and pretty close. This is about the right kind of range to now be looking for a move. Will he go to the inside or will he go to the outside? He doesn't go for either of them. He just sticks behind again. He's right up behind. He's almost pushing Limitless along through there. Now he's going to look down the inside again into Vale. No, he's not.
That's it.
So Alonso taking it steady here. They're losing a little. Oh, Flying Finn is in the pits. First of the pit stops on lap 8. Obviously, he did 2 qualifying laps, so he's done a good job to take them that long. Matisse stays out. Will Flying Finn be able to undercut him? That is going to be crucial. That is something to watch out for. We saw that in the Tier 2 race, that the undercut can be ever so powerful if it's at the right time that you deploy it. And
Alonso sized him up brilliantly.
Coming
into Aintree. Oh, he's not close enough. He's going to get the DRS though. This is where he should be able to get a move done, potentially into Luffield Corner. We've seen Alonso and Webber in previous years in 2012 go for the moves here, and Alonso's gone for it on Tyrrell Limitless here. Into third place goes SDSF1 Alonso, and he takes Tyrrell Limitless cleanly and fairly, but Limitless was just constantly on a losing battle, I guess you could say there. He was just couldn't hold him for that much longer. Alonso has shown some mega pace in the early stages of this race, and he's moved himself and SDS onto the podium once again. But for the thing like the flying P9 at the moment, a lot of clean air. That is crucial actually, because he could have been caught up badly. Yeah,
he's found an absolutely fantastic spot there, and that's going to play. I don't know whether that's by luck or judgment, but that is fantastic pin. That gives him a real opportunity. Matiz responds and pits this lap, but will it be enough? Isar Simon into the pits as well. Alonso stays out. He looks to have good grip as he's pulled away from Limitless, who also stays out. He seems to be struggling a little bit more though, so I'm surprised. Well, I suppose he can't because Matiz is in the pits, so he has to stay out on the lap, doesn't he? Yeah. And then we've got the soft guys coming next.
Remember the Tier 2 guys though? Danny was in a similar scenario, wasn't he? He was leading the race. He was on the super soft tyres. He came into the pits. He did lose time. So this may not be the best idea. But at the end of the race, if you remember correctly, Danny was flying. So this could be a really good actually opportunity for SCS once again. Let's just wait and see.
He's going to lose position.
He took place.
He's timed it to perfection. Brilliant from Finn. He didn't quite have the pace of Matiz on that first stint. Matiz looked to have a comfortable gap. But one lap. A perfect lap from Finn, obviously, and he's managed to get through, but now he's got to defend from Matiz, who's looking around the outside.
Brooklyn's Oh my goodness, side by side going through Brooklyn's corner. Can he hold it on the inside through left field? They're merely making contact. Can Finn hold him on the outside? Yes, he'll try. But Matiz is on the inside. He's going to get the run. And Finn can't really answer to him there. And Matiz has moved himself into 5th place, which is in a net lead essentially. But Flame may go for the move through Cop's corner. He's not going to be close enough through there. But they're neck and neck coming through Cop's corner. This could be a plane crash. They're going for it through Maggots and Beckett. This is unbelievable scenes. Side by side through Maggots and Beckett. You'll never see anything like that ever, and he's not been able to make the move there. Maybe a good run through Chapel though may compromise Matiz potentially down towards Stowe corner. Let's find out. Matiz is going to have to go on the defensive. Can Finn make a move on the inside? He's not going to be quite better run, I feel, through Stowe corner, and I don't know whether it's going to pay an effect here, but Matiz holds his 5th place for now. And as it stands, I think he may just keep it that way. He now needs to start pulling out that gap. Well, that, my goodness me, that could have gone so badly wrong through Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, great driving. That just shows the quality. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. No one even backed out of that and they still made it through cleanly. That is incredible. Alonso and Limitless have gone crashing down the order here, I think. They're not even out the pits, I think. Well, they are just going to hold it, I think. It's going to be quite close, though, with Langman, who's nowhere near them before, and now is quite close. So that has not worked out brilliantly. They've lost touch a little bit to ESR Simon, who is holding what will be a net P3. He's doing an absolutely solid job. But yeah, Matiz now into 3rd and chasing down Jork 94 and Trumpa Rumpa, who are staying out there on the soft tyres that they started on. We've got a few of these soft runners now in the way of a few. That's something to look out for. Something's happened. What's going on? Oh, that's just Reynolds dropping out and then coming back in again. As now we see a change of position. Simon through on Amazing. He's getting through this traffic just like he needs to, but he does have a bit of a gap. Alonso will now look to close down on Simon for the final podium place. He seems to have dropped Limitless quite comfortably out of that. Let's go back to the lead though, as Finn is still right behind RG Matiz. He's not quite close enough into Stowe. He's not going to go for the move, and he's not quite going to be able to try into Vale and Club like we've seen with a few other drivers. And he's just going to stick behind now and really close behind. So it has still gained from that undercut, but hasn't quite got the track position that he did briefly have.
Very briefly. But Matiz, yeah, you're right. He has got to stick on the back as Finn of Matiz. He really cannot let Matiz go. He has to just hold on to him for dear life now as Finn. He's just got to get the move done as well. But I can assure you, definitely going to be at all. But Matiz got a bit of a buffer now, Finn, and it's going to be a struggle, you feel, for Finn. Can he really close up to the back of Matiz as they come through? I don't know. I don't think he is at the moment. He seems to be losing a bit of time. In that first sector alone, he just did not look like he nailed it at all, and in all due respect. So maybe Matiz is beginning to pull away now, and he has got the legs, hasn't he? He's definitely got the momentum going for him now, Matiz. But there's certain parts of the track where I feel maybe Finn's got a little bit on Matiz. It's just if and when. I feel Stowe corner, you know, it's that last sector potentially where Finn can really close that gap to Matiz. But let's find out as we head down in towards Stowe. It's not going to be close enough for a move by any stretch of the imagination. Well, he'd be coming from Malaysia to go and make a move from that far back. But he's just, as you're right, we've got to keep within a second, I think, between these two, and we will surely see. It's absolutely flown by this race. It's his fastest lap again as well. That's another notable factor. He set a fastest lap the previous lap, and he set another fastest lap this lap as well. And there is yellows in sector 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is for. Oh, there's another one out. Is it RBZ down there?
Oh, RBZ's lost it.
It is.
Through Chapel.
Yeah, he wasn't having a good race anyway, but that just puts pay to what any kind of chance of recovery for him. So that is a disastrous race for SRL, with Feisty Ted also struggling down in 15th place. He's probably not going to make it into the points. So everyone at the moment, apart from Arctic Adventure and RBZ, are on the soft compound tyres. But obviously we've got a few people out there on old soft tyres, and the people are now working their way through the traffic. So we've had Alonso and we've had Limitless both getting past the Amazement without trouble, and that's not made too much difference. Although I think Limitless has made it through a little bit easier than the Amazement, and is now a little bit of the traffic, which is Monkey Face Plays, and Alonso's coming into him at exactly the wrong time, going into Maggots and Beckett's, and he's coming through Chapel now, and he's going to make the move, but Limitless is going to be a lot closer than he was before. And there's a little bit of contact there as well. Monkey Face Plays going on to the grass and almost out of contention, but he just manages to hold it. I think he's got front wind damage out of it though. Has he? No, he's staying out, but he was onto the grass there, and that almost was Monkey Face Plays out of the race. But yeah, that has definitely helped Limitless close further now on Alonso.
I'll turn your attention to third and fourth. We were saying about Matiz and Finn. This is actually closed up, I think, a lot, because I don't think Finn was really as close as he is. And now, there's I won't call him a back marker because he's second, but Jork is second, and he is now losing a lot of time. This man could be the deciding factor of the race, to be fair. We can nip and tuck between these two. You will never be able to find out. Matiz and the Flying Finn are closing in on Jork. And it's a crucial moment. When does Matiz go for this move? He'll need to go for it as soon as possible, and Finn will try and follow him through as well when they do make this move. But Finn's got a much better run through Copse Corner. As we head now down towards Maggots and Beckett, it looks like Finn is a hell of a lot more close than he has been over previous laps. Let's see what Finn can do then as he heads through Chapel and onto the onto the hanger straight towards Stowe Corner. Matiz looks like he's going to get the move done on Jork as they head down in towards Stowe Corner. Is he? Yes, he can, and he's got the move done. Now can Finn make the offensive on Matiz? He'll go for it at the inside. Matiz, there's contact between the two of them, but they stay together. Matiz is still second. Can Finn get him on the inside through Club Corner? They're banging once again. I think they may be touch round. No, they can't. They don't quite make a move. Maybe through Abbey Corner. This is where it's going to be crucial. Can he get the move done? Yes, he will. As this time does complete race, and Matiz, I don't know if he's going to get the switch back on him. Yes, he will. Matiz is back on the outside of him. What a move around the outside of him. Can pull it off. No, he can't quite do it. Now through Aintree Corner down towards the Wellington Straight. Can he get the move done? Here we go. Matiz versus Finn. Down towards Brooklands once again. Matiz moves to the outside. He'll try and make it all the way around the outside, but Finn holds the inside line very nicely there. Now through Lovefield Corner. I don't think Matiz has got an answer to it through Lovefield. He hasn't, and this, as I said, the back marker did play its part there and played a massive role in the outcome of the lead of this race.
Yeah, Finn obviously saw that as an opportunity, and he grabbed it with both hands. He's through, and you could tell that they were fighting so hard because they really eased up behind Jork, but have barely pulled away from him in this lap. Such has been the great fighting through that first sector, but Finn has come out on top. He doesn't quite, I would say, he's a little bit off Matiz in terms of pace when they've been in clear air. But I've got that track position, can really have the advantage now in terms of deciding where he puts his car and everything, and that just makes things a little bit easier for him now in this fight. So that is good. Trumper Rumper is in. He's the first of the soft runners to pit. And such as the pit lane, that's kind of messed up where I was trying to go on in terms of the driver. But it'll be interesting to see where they come out, whether they can fight through. Obviously behind, we've still got a lot of battling. We're going to go back down the order again to see how Langman, Leopard, Reynolds, people like them are getting on, because those lot are still pretty close to each other. And then if they start fighting, these soft runners who are now on the super softs could come back into contention for a good result. They were at the front. Let's see how far they can get back up the order. They're going to come out quite a long way down though, so a lot of work to be done there. And through the first sector, it looks like Finn is holding that advantage, as we've also got Limitless keeping taps on Alonso, but not quite close enough to look at a move. So it does look like this closest battle on the track is actually Reynolds on OMG. It's Joe. But there's no change in position there for the moment. Reynolds, we get a great view here from the, I think there's a helicopter cam, quite a low flying helicopter, but really good view there of Reynolds as he now goes looking down the inside of Copse, but he can't quite get the run on him. And let's go back to that lead battle now then, as I don't think there's going to be a change of position there. Matiz seems to be losing a little bit of time now to Finn. That's been a good lap for Finn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the next thing to watch out for is, can Alonso close up to Simon? I think that's another crucial one. The Williams at the moment is doing well enough for, I think that's Tiercero, I believe it is, in the Williams car. He's third at the moment. That gap between him and Alonso is closing. And for every closing lap they're getting, I've really worded this wrong. For every lap they're closing on Simon, he's sticking right with him, Limitless. He hasn't let Alonso go. Now that could be crucial in this race because, of course, these two will be wanting a podium. Limitless in his first attempt, of course, in ULC for a podium as well. But he's really got to fight for it because he knows the nature of the driver in front, and Alonso knows how to race, and he is a very, very good racer indeed. The pair of them are. So let's just wait and see on how that battle unfolds with what is that, 9 laps to go now of this race. So it is really coming to a draw, this one.
Yeah, and watch out for ESR Simon. I think he's been had a number of drivers not too happy with his driving in wheel-to-wheel battling. I think a few people have been thinking that he's a little bit too aggressive, so it'll be interesting to see what happens if these two guys close up right behind him. And having just said that, he picks up a 3-second time penalty. But as we saw in Tier 2, a lot of people had penalties, and it ended up just being really that fight that really counts.
Sorry,
They haven't had any top 5s in Tier 1, and they haven't had any podiums in Tier 2 either, so they haven't actually scored 10 points in a race yet.
He's all over him on the inside, he goes for the switchback, lovely move, and Langman's just trying to keep him on the inside. Could he hold him there, Langman? I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. Leopard is trying to give him all the best shot around the outside through. Oh my goodness me, they're banging wheels through Club Corner, down towards Abbey, who's seen Langman make a bit of contact with previous drivers before, and Leopard has taken off to a unknown part of the circuit and take a 150 metre board with him as well.
Yeah, evasive action there from Leopard. I think that was probably the clever thing to do. That could have been a plane crash. So he's managed to lose a bit of time through running off the track, but he hasn't ended his race. So he's still there in 7th place. And that is not too bad for him, but he will, of course, want to close back down on Langman and fight for that 6th position. Once again, Trumpa-Rumpa, the leader of the Super Soft runners, really out of the Super Soft runners, Trumpa and Jork in contention. Those other guys of Amazement and Monkey Face plays it just a little bit too far back, but watch out for that. Trumpa-Rumpa now coming up behind EVR Reynolds. He's going to look to charge through on those obviously softer tyres that should be giving him more grip up until the last few laps of the race, where they might go slightly off. But he's going to really want to make progress now, and that gap closing even more now for 3rd. We'll head back over to that. This is one that could take a little bit of time to heat up, but it definitely is doing so. Alonso now within a second of Simon, and then Limitless just 7/10 behind as well. So that is really closing up there in the lead. Finn looking good. 1.1 seconds, and he seems to have turned around what looked like an early pace deficit to Michiz. So really good work from Finn, and it looks at the moment like he's got it under control.
Absolutely. I also just want to point out as well, remember the battle of Ork, who's the man who really started that battle off. Now, the man who's going to kickstart this battle off, it seems, will be Simon. He could be the catalyst in, potentially Limitless moving through the order and making the move on Alonso, because he's been stuck behind Alonso since the pit stop window. So it's been ever so long that Limitless has been looking at the back end of the Mercedes, and I'm sure he won't want that for much longer. But yeah, you're right, that gap is closing now. Simon is now 0.8 of a second within Alonso's reach, so it is definitely possible. It's between these guys, and Simon 3rd at the moment in the Williams, just doing his job, knows what he needs to do, but he can't be overly aggressive. As you stated, Jones, it's a bit, people have, questioned his driving at times wheel to wheel. I'm not going to be one to question it now, but we just want to see a great race. Let's see how this all unfolds as Alonso closes right to the back of Simon, then into the Williams. Let's see whether Alonso can miss his chance on lap 20 now it is of this. Well, it's been a pretty good race, I'd say, maybe even better than good, but here we go then. I don't think it's going to be close enough when we get the DRS, or when Alonso gets the DRS, to make a move into Brooklands, but I've been proved wrong in the past, and it wouldn't surprise me if I'm going to be proved wrong again now. So let's see. Simon, I don't think it will be, but he's holding third
just
for
to point out, I think this is important to point out, Simon pitted before these two, Alonso and Limitless, and I think it was 2 laps before as well, if I'm correct. So those tyres going into these last few laps of the race now are going to be screaming, and the guys behind are just going to have a little bit more grip, and I think that's going to be really crucial. That's going to make Simon's job that little bit harder. Obviously, these two behind are quality drivers anyway, so it would be a challenge enough. But with that tyre deficit, it's not going to be easy at all for Simon. He's going to have to really fight. But he's had a good sector now coming through Chapel onto the Hangar Straight. He looks like he's got a big enough gap, I would say. Alonso is going to be close, but not able to even think, really, about making a move. And Finn further extending that gap at the front. 1.7 seconds.
Wide. Oh, that was wild coming through Stowe. He just completely lost it. Yeah, that could have been one of the biggest bottle you've ever seen, to be fair, around this circuit. But as we said before, we were speaking as in when Danny made his pit stop later on in Tier 2, how much of a boost advantage, how much of a pace advantage he had towards the end of the race. It's seeming like that's happening here. Although it's only a couple of laps, it's still proving pivotal.
Yeah, and Alonso's looking down the inside here.
Oh!
And I think he's got the line now. He's going to be looking to shove Simon just a little bit wide, but he can't quite do that. But he does still have the inside line going into Brooklands. This is a great opportunity for Alonso. Down the straight, he doesn't quite have the speed, but he does make it down the inside of Brooklands. Can he take the line? Yes, he can, and Simon has lost out. Limitless looking to stick this into the hands because he's both Simon and Limitless now, because they're going to be worried about each other and possibly going off the line and also in the dirty air of Alonso. Limitless goes a long way off track there, actually, on the inside, and that's cost him quite badly. He's not going to be able to pass Simon this lap. He's going to have to wait another lap, and that just lets Alonso go.
Dear me, nearly ran into Limitless through Maggots and Beckett's. Let's just see, then he was very aggressive on Alonso, so I would expect him to be exactly the same with Limitless. Limitless is closing up to him massively as they head down towards Stowe Corner. I don't think there's going to be any moves made there yet, but yeah, it's just how crucial that move should have been for Limitless. It really is, because if Limitless would have got past Simon then, whole different race, I think. Oof.
Ooh.
But he's got through now.
That looked like a bit of a shove to me. I'm not sure. Yeah. That was an odd bit of movement there. The car seemed to really take a strange bit of movement there, but Limitless has gone through because Simon's gone miles off the track. But it did look like there's a little bit of contact there. That was 84, and I think he's got that now. Let's, yeah, he does. So that ended up too badly for him. He hasn't had to run, and he's got through quite nicely there. We've got a change in P6 actually. We've got Leopard up into 6th position. He's still fighting tooth and nail with Langman, and then there's Trumper coming through. I said to look out for him, and he is really now going for it. He's passed OMG It's Joe, and now he's looking to line up Leopard and Langman, who are fighting like they have been for ever so long. And Trumper does manage to hold on to that position over OMG It's Joe, and now he's going to be like, no, he's not. Joe fights it back.
Just keeping it. Oh, goodness me. Back up the inside through left field, and then gives it a nice little kick-end flick, back-end flick to just add to the woes of Trumper for now. But look at it, this is an absolute train of cars. It's all started because of Langman and Leopard, and it does seem, a lot of people, you're right, are getting penalties. Absolutely left, right, centre here. Yeah. So,
yeah, not what we want to see. It is a bit of a penalties, but they've track need to be for it. But it's actually spread out a little bit here. The main fight now is Leopard looking around the outside of Langman. I don't think that's going to work. Surely he's going to have to be extremely brave to make that one stick. But he is going to look down the inside now into Vale, and he is going to get the line, but will he be able to complete the move? Because obviously then we're going to Club, and he's not quite on the line then for that. Langman keeps position, and those guys behind now close back up. It's still MG It's Joe in 8th. He's fought off Trumper once, but surely Trumper is going to be getting through by the end of this race, because he's on those super soft tyres that should give him a clear advantage. They're looking 4 wide almost.
Trying to swing around the outside. He's got the move done on through the loop, and now Trumperumba's trying to follow him through as well. But my goodness me, Joe just caught Leopard napping there. Leopard was just expecting to make the move on Langman. He's sizing him up for the move. Langman blocked him off through turn 4, the loop. But then Joe came back on his outside because he's on into now. Is Joe, 7th place now is Joe, and all over the back maybe now of his old rival Langman, we'll call it, because they've been in so many championship brawls, the RGL brawl, the DRL brawl, the TWRL brawl. These guys have been in all sorts of brawls, but it's now going to see how much they can really use that experience and how much they're going to capitalise. And Joe's going so sideways. I always get tentative when Joe's driving like that, because he slides the back end of his car so much.
It's cost him quite badly here, because Trumper is right behind him and looking to make the move now. And he's not going to quite make it, but he's actually got to fend off from Leopard there, but he gets down the inside. Joe running a little bit wide from the apex, and that almost allowed a chance there, but not quite. And Trumper remains in in 8th position, with Leopard in 9th. And this is looking like it's going to be a great fight to the end. EVR All-Rounder has gone out of the race. That sudden crash wasn't going well anyway. I think he had penalties that might have been a bit of a frustrated quit, but Trumper quite now literally down the end. Quite able to go through. Now he's going to be lining it up on the Wellington Straight, going into Brooklands. I think he's going to have to go around the outside here. No, he's not, because Joe is changing direction
Joe's lost
at the last minute.
Through Lovefield.
And now Trumper-Rump's going to hold it around the outside, but
look at
he's
the inside, he's
under
one of the Force Indians. Oh my goodness me, that's Leopard at the inside, and then he can't get the move done either. My goodness me. Joe, actually, that all started off because he bogged down through the loop. He just couldn't get the car moving. It was just bogging down, couldn't get the power down. And look at Trumper-Rumpa's, oh my goodness me, the run. He's caught coming into Maggins and Beckett's. He surely won't go up the inside through there. Oh, it's getting feisty, it's getting close, but it's not close enough, I don't think, for him to really, or brave enough to make a move through Maggots and Beckett's. They're pushing each other around now. Now Langman's getting away.
This is absolutely incredible stuff. This is just like Tier 2 now, going side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. Leopard go down the inside. No, he's not. There's a bit of a false picture I saw there. And yeah, this is allowing Langman to get away. Surely he can't make that stick.
Inside as he's squeezing each other out. It's like Massa and Hamilton in 2011. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's Joe off the road. But he holds it. He's come back on the road and he's still side by side. That's incredible. I thought he'd lost that position for sure. But now he has, because he's run further off the track. He's into the gravel. That's Joe out of contention. Leopard now down the inside of Trumper-Rumpa. This is really played into the hands of the F1 League drivers. Trumper-Rumpa's lost out badly there. Leopard does the switch back. Leopard is back up into 7th position, and now we've got Reynolds there in 9th position. And where has Joe gone? He is out of the race. I don't know. I think it wasn't retirement from the contact, but Reynolds down the inside. Reynolds from out of nowhere. How has he done that? Trumper-Rumpa's going to hold it though, because Reynolds just lost the car slightly. That was a crazy move from Reynolds. But on that. Good position now in 7th. He's got a bit of a gap behind, but watch out, because Feisty Ted, I said he wouldn't make it into the points, but he's made some really good progress on this stint. He's now 10th, Jork 11th on the super soft tyres. They're not too far behind, but we're on the last lap now with our leaders, and that is a bit more of a straightforward affair. Finn has really stretched out that gap out the front. It's 3 seconds. Then it is Alonso in 3rd. Limitless in 4th position. We'll come back to this battle towards the end, but that is 4/10 of a second there, as they are about to go onto the Wellington Straight for the final time as they battle for podium position.
Alonso goes a bit sideways through the first exit of turn 4, now down through Aintree. Now on the Wellington Straight, Limitless has got to give it everything on the brake pedal now, and he can't quite do it just yet. Alonso keeps a tight line, keeps his car in there. Limitless is the move. You can see the gap. He needs to now. Alonso is there in 3rd. It's there for the taking. It's the podium place up for grabs here in ULC Tier 1. There's plenty of action going on behind, but we want to see whether Limitless can get back past Alonso for 3rd place. I don't know whether he's going to be able to just yet. Alonso holds on through Cops now, through Maggots and Beckett's. It's for the podium then in ULC Tier 1. Let's see who will get it. Limitless is getting a good old little run going through maybe into Chapel, and now he needs to maximise. He needs to put his foot down. He needs to get that DRS going, and he needs to make the move into Stowe. And now Alonso keeps on the defensive. Limitless looking all the way around the outside. I don't think he's going to get the move done there, and Alonso just covers him off. Flying Finn has won here at the British Grand Prix, but can Limitless give a move in? I don't think he's going to be able to. It may be very close. We've seen it in the past. Limitless isn't going to be close enough, and Alonso will take 3rd from Tyrrell Limitless. But what a battle to the end that was between the Titans, you could say. And it is 3rd and 4th for them. 5th for Simon. Simon is Langman. Sorry, he's coming through. It looks like for 6th place at Abbey, between Joe himself, Leopard, and his teammate as well. But Langman comes through, I think, for Archdale's best ever result in ULC, 6th place, and Leopard in 7th. Good result for him.
Jork's made up a lot on that last lap. Jork was the one that I said watch out for. He was in 11th. He's passed Ted, he's passed Reynolds, and then he's got Trumper-Rumpa with penalties. So that's a very good result there for Jork. not in the points going into the last lap, but he finishes in 8th. Ted does pick up 1 point, and Reynolds, I think that was penalties that cost Reynolds, although I think he lost position anyway, maybe losing the tyres. He's ended up a disappointing 11th despite being in that fight for 6th for much of the race. Monkey Face Blaze finishes in 12th position, and the final finisher is going to be the Amazement in 13th. Quite an atrocious race actually. We've lost 6 drivers, which is more than you would expect around here, but that is the final car to cross the line. Another great race, and if you want to see more, make sure to follow the PS4 race, which will be beginning in around about 10 minutes. But we've first of all got to finish up here. I'll just do one final run through of the results, and then we will be interviewing our winner, our 2nd place, and our 3rd place. Another great result for STS 1 and 3, with AOR challenging them all the way in 2nd and 4th. It is Finn who has won. The Flying Finn 08 from RG Matiz ended up 2.9 seconds behind, losing that position when they came up behind the traffic of Jork 94. STS F1 Alonso fought hard, and he got his P3 from Tyrrell Limitless, who fought in again the whole way through the race. ESR Simon, a solid drive to P5 for him. Langman in 6th, he had to fight for that, and well done to him. Leopard in 7th. Jork, a great finish to the race, a solid race from him, and he is rewarded with 8th. Trump in risk streak of 2nd, but 2 Feisty Ted nicks a point after a disastrous race, to be honest. Reynolds in 11th, Monkey Face Place 12th, then it's the Amazement in 13th, and our non-finishers, Arctic Avenger, MGX Joe, then it was EVR All-Rounder, RBZ, and the 2 BPRL drivers in the Toro Rosso. So yeah, James, if you could just invite our podium sitters into the party. I'm looking forward to talking to them after another fantastic race. And boy, have we seen some action today on the Xbox side of things. And it'll be really interesting to talk to these guys. And I got to interview 1st and 3rd last time, so I think this time, James, you can talk to 1st and 3rd, and I'll have a word with 2nd place. So, yeah, make sure you include your audio, the podium sitters, and yeah, then we'll get underway.
Yep, so that's just a pretty mighty effort in the end there. It looked like very tight in the middle part of that race where you were battling with Matiz. Talk us through that race, because it looked like you may have lost it actually off the first part of that race, because Matiz was pulling out a pretty good gap, to be fair to you, and then you managed to I wouldn't say, was it an undercut? I can't quite remember, but you got very, very close with him. Talk us through your race. How did it go for you?
Yeah, started the race. Had the chance to get into the lead, but Matiz managed to hang around the outside and kept the lead from there on. And yeah, pace was really similar. I think he was really consistent, and yeah, in that tier as well, it's just really impossible to get within touching distance. But yeah, once my tires died, I had to go for the undercut, and I was surprised how close we came out together. But yeah, from there on, it was a really close race and close battle as well. I don't know if there was desync into Vale on my screen. He just turned in on me and his car started spinning. So yeah, and then from there on, I just kept it on the inside in last corner and first corner, just dictated the line, and yeah, managed to hold off the lead. But yeah, nothing more to say besides that. It was a good battle, and yeah, really fun.
Absolutely. KC.
Okay. Yeah, so on to 2nd place finisher, RG Matiz. Obviously, you held that lead throughout the first stint, then you lost it at the pit stops, got it back, and then lost it again when you came up behind Jork 94. In that early stage of the races, you did seem to have an ever so slight pace advantage, whether that was maybe the dirty air or just maybe a little bit of better confidence. You did seem to have that little advantage, but towards the end you fell off a little bit. Did a bit of a difference maybe with the tyres? Did you struggle a little bit more on the soft comp?
I have no idea. The softs just felt terrible for me. I think AOR, one of the softs as well, they felt nothing like it. It was just so understeery. Felt like I had no grip, and I just couldn't get anywhere. I just couldn't get anywhere near. In space was literally like a 10th every single sector, and there was literally nothing I can do to get it back. But from my point of view, I got completely shafted out of the way in the last 2 corners, and yeah, that's how I got the move done into turn 1. I got I got punted to the outside again. So I don't know, it's probably desync, but still I'm just not happy. There's nothing I could do. I just turned in, I left the space, and it completely blown up to the outside. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that is a shame to hear, but at least it's still 18 points for you and the league, so that's at least something to. And then James, you can talk to our third place
moving on
finisher.
to Mr. SDSF1 Alonso in the third place, where, well, from qualifying, let's say, it wasn't. The race definitely was, from your point of view, it looked like you really did have the pressure mounted on you by Tyrrell Limitless all throughout the entire race. So how were you coping with that pressure, just keeping him behind, you know, because it was getting a bit nervy at one point with I think it was one of the Williams, it was Simon, I think, where that could have gone quite wrong for you. But how was the race for yourself? So you should be absolutely happy with that. And Casey, you're going to round it up.
Yeah, so that's it. Another really good race. Very entertaining once again. And make sure, as I said at the start of the stream, if you had a Tier 2 race, make sure to check that out. That was another really good race. And we will be back next week for our final race of this part of the season in Hungary. Then we'll be taking a week break. So make sure not to miss next week. And I'm not sure who will be commentating. We might have Matt and Shock back, but obviously they were feeling ill today. So it's been a pleasure filling in today, and I hope you've enjoyed the great races. And make sure to come back again next week, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.